Sup nerds, today we have our updated BlackWarGreymon OTK deck profile. This is the deck that won the survey that I posted about a week and a half ago. You guys definitely wanted this one. It won by a landslide. So let's get into it. Starting off with our Tama, we have our 4 Caramon. We are not running a 5th egg in this deck because we always want our egg to be Caramon. As the profile goes along, this will make more sense, but this Digitama gives you plus 1000 on your turn if you have Reboot. It's very important for certain cards and thresholds. And for our rookies, we are running 4 Tyrannomon. His effect is, your turn, all of your black Digimon with 13,000 DP or more gain Piercing. And then his inheritable is, your turn while this Digimon is black and has 13,000 DP or more, this Digimon gains Security Attack +1. This is the best rookie in the deck by far. This card is ignorant and it lets you just punish people. Next up, we are running 4 Caramon. These are the promo from the tournament pack. So this is the inheritable that gives you plus 1000 DP on your opponent's turn. This is specifically because yellow is a deck, and this makes it a little harder for them to kill your blockers. That's pretty much the only reason it's in here, is just to give you certain thresholds, so it's not as easy to delete you by DP reduction. Also, it does make your blockers a little bit bigger, so you can block bigger megas and things like that. And our next rookie, we are running 4 Gatomon. This is the 3000 blocker, and then when attacking, lose 2 memory. Agumon sucks. It has 1000 DP. Naturally, so like Pikmon can just delete it if you don't have any kind of DP gain on it. So yeah, this one's infinitely better. 3000 DP naturally and can get bigger in this deck, but definitely good to see these. It can always just chump block just when you need to save yourself for a turn. And our last 2 rookies, 2 Chumon. This card is mediocre versus yellow and purple because they can pop it so ridiculously easily. But it can potentially slow them down for maybe a turn or 2 until they have the resources to remove it. But it actually is very good against blue Imperial specifically, because they don't typically play the dual Tamer blue that gives them 2 extra memory at the beginning of their turn if you have a Digimon with those sources. It makes all their Hammer Sparks just actual bricks. Also, another thing you can do is when you're chunking people's security with this deck, is if you're playing against purple or something like that, you can play this on the field, and then their security cards that make them gain memory, like they just don't do anything, so it doesn't become your opponent's turn magically. But that is the last rookie. We're playing 14 rookies. And you will notice I'm not playing any Toy Agumon that give you Reboot as inheritable. There's a reason for that, and we'll get into it later. But trust me, that was on purpose, even though I think that rookie is one of the best rookies Black has. On to our champions. For Greymon, inheritable, this Digimon has Reboot, gains Jamming, very good. 4 to play, 2 to Digivolve, good card. And 4 more Greymons, essentially. Same inheritable, has Reboot, has Jamming, just 5 to play and 5000 DP. So slightly bigger than Greymon, a little worse to hard play, but very good. And that's this is one of our focuses, is to have Jamming on all of our big guys. And then our last champion, we are running 4 Dark Tyrannomon, 1 to Digivolve blocker. 5000 DP does suck, but we have ways to increase this DP so it doesn't just get popped by Nightmon, Pikmon combos, and Shoutmon and all that good stuff, Nidhoggmon. And having the 1 to Digivolve as well as a blocker is very important. But that is it for our champions. We're running 12. And on to our ultimates, we are running 4 Metal Greymon. A very good card. It has Reboot naturally, and then the inheritable is, while this Digimon has Reboot, against Security Attack +1. Very good. And then our next ultimate also has Reboot, go figure. And then its inheritable is, while this Digimon has Reboot, it gets plus 2000 DP. So the reason why I'm playing this over Gogmamon is because the difference in DP gain is negligible for the thresholds that you're trying to hit in this deck. You'll understand why later. But him having Reboot lets you start swinging with your ultimates early when you get them on top of your jamming inheritables. And this lets you be a lot more aggressive in this deck. This and Metal Greymon just let you swing with your ultimates early, and then you can just evolve your megas on top of these guys and just keep swinging the next turn. But this lets you be hyper aggressive very early, which is something that kind of that black doesn't really do, is like just be hyper aggressive super early. But this definitely lets you do it, and it's very good. And our last two ultimates, I wanted to play 10 ultimates, and nothing else really made the cut. I actually considered playing one of the ultimates that just has reboot, like Metal Mamamon or that rock type Digimon or whatever. But I decided against them. I wanted to have a 2 to Digivolve option and 5 hard play option for an ultimate. Very good. If you can turbo into your Mega if you have 3 memory by hatching, Digivolving your rookie, Dark Tyrannomon for 1, Warriomonzamon for 2, and then your Mega for 3. Very good to have that option in this deck. Him not having reboot's not a huge deal because you're only playing 2 of him. And on to our Megas. We are running 4 BlackWarGreymon, but not BlackWarGreymon. He is 11,000 DP, he has blocker and reboot, so that means when he has a full stack underneath him with the Caramon, he's 12,000 on your turn. And potentially bigger, he could have up to 14,000 if you have the Black Mock Galgamon underneath him. He can be 14,000 DP on your turn, which is pretty big. And if you have the Caramon underneath him, he can be 12,000 at least on your opponent's turn, which is very nice with him being a blocker. And our other Mega, we are running 4 BlackWarGreymon. So he also has reboot, important, and he has 12,000 DP. So if he has a full stack underneath him with just the Caramon, he's at 13,000 DP, which is a very important threshold if you guys remember a certain card that you play in this deck. And he naturally has security attack +1. Yes, he does cost 40 Digivolve, that does suck, but it's not the end of the world because of everything else that he has going on for him that goes so well with the rest of this deck. I'm willing to accept that he just costs 40 Digivolve. But this guy is a kill card. When I get into the combos, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about, but very good card. And that was it. We were running 8 Megas. And on to our Tamers. We are running 3 Taikamiya. This is Black Taikamiya. This is a memory setter. Start of your turn if you have 2 memory or less, set it to 3, whatever. And then your opponent's turn, all of your Black Digimon get plus 1000 DP. This entire deck is Black Digimon, so all of your Digimon, if you have just one of these out, is 1000 DP bigger, which is very important if you're playing against yellow, or if you're playing against a deck that's trying to swing at you. Your Megas get 1000 DP bigger, your rookies and your champion blockers get 1000 DP bigger, and that's unless you have multiples of these. It gets kind of crazy when you have multiples of these out and you have like a 14 or 15,000 DP blocker on your turn. But yes, very good card. We are playing this specifically because yellow is very prominent in the meta right now. And then on to our options, we are running 3 Final Zubigon Punch. So typically I would only run 2 of this card because you don't need to see it necessarily, but this deck is hyper aggressive, so I want to see this card early and often. For those of you that don't know, the effect is main, one of your Digimon gets plus 3000 DP until the end of your opponent's next turn, very important. Then if that Digimon now has 16,000 DP or more, that Digimon gains blocker and reboot and security attack +1 until the end of your opponent's next turn. So this turns your BlackWarGreymon that has 12,000 DP, if it's a full stack underneath it with the Caramon, it's 13,000 just by that. And then you do this and it's a 16,000 DP blocker, and it already has security attack +1 by itself. This gives it another security check, and then if it has anything else underneath it, it can have up to 5 security checks just by itself, which is pretty insane. So yes, you want to see this early and often in this deck. That's why we're playing 3 and not 2. Securities add this card to its owner's hand, so if it's ever in security, it is going to magically find its way to your hand. But let's get into some of the combos in this deck. Alright, so this is your ideal I'm going to kill you combo. This is BlackWarGreymon on top of the Metal Greymon, on top of the Greymon or Black Galgamon, on top of the Sonorizamon, on top of your only Digitama that you run. This right here has 13,000 DP on your turn, and it has security attack +3 and jamming and reboot. That's insane. So it's checking for 4 security, and if you play Final Zubigon Punch on it, it goes to 16,000 DP, and it gets blocker until the end of your opponent's turn, and it gets another security check. So it's checking for 5 security by itself with jamming for 16,000 DP. And if you have one of these guys out next to him, he he has piercing. So even if they block, you're still checking all 5 security checks, so it's pointless to block him. This is really stupid if you have this and just like a couple, like if they have a blocker out and you have this guy out and like one other guy, you can just swing here, they can't block it, it doesn't do anything. And barring options going off, you're checking every single one of their security cards, and then you can swing with this and swing with another guy in this game. And that's if they even have a blocker. If they don't have a blocker, you can just have this guy and a vanilla card on your field, and you can just swing all 5 checks and just swing for game with the other guy. But very insane. This card meshes with this deck so well. It did kill me to cut the promo BlackWarGreymon that can swing multiple times. But this guy goes so much better in this deck. Like, it meshes so well. Everything just flows together very smoothly. Having reboot and jamming on all of your megas is really stupid, and it makes them very annoying to deal with because your opponent can never swing over them. They have to have removal in order to get rid of them. But as I said, your ultimates having reboot, at least 8 of your ultimates anyway, having reboot allow you to be super aggressive with this deck. You just digivolve into your ultimate and your raising air, you bring it out, swing for a check. And then if you have a Mega, or want to digivolve into a Mega, you can digivolve at that point, and then both of them have reboot, so you're still going to reboot. Then you can just continue to press even more the following turn, but this lets you swing a turn early than you otherwise would be able to, and that can be important in certain matchups. And sometimes you can just have a couple of just ultimates on the field under on top of the Greymon or BlackWarGreymon and just poke, and unless they have removal, they can't deal with these guys because they're always going to reboot. And obviously this is the reason why you're not playing Tyrannomon in this deck. Everything that you want to have reboot already has it naturally, so it's literally a wasted card slot by running it, so it opens up that card slot to run the promo Caramon and the Gatsumon and things like that, which are much more impactful in the matchups that you need them for. So being able to cut the 4 Tyrannomon is very nice. And this is very fun. I don't want to play the Metal Gurumon. I don't want to Digiburst my inheritables because most of them are important, if not all of them. And Metal Gurumon's also only 11,000 DP, and it doesn't have blocker. Like, it's just an 11,000 DP reboot Digimon. I'd much rather play this because it has blocker. And I'm not going to cut this because this guy, if you just have the Caramon underneath him, he's already at 13,000 DP threshold for Final Punch. But yes, this is a very aggressive deck. It's even more aggressive than the previous BlackWarGreymon OTK deck. You just can't swing multiple times with the same Digimon, but you can literally swing for all 5 security with jamming in one swing with piercing in this deck, and it's pretty stupid. But that is the deck, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below or any questions you guys might have about it. I highly recommend trying this out. North America currently has 3 more weeks until the pre-release for BT6. 4 weeks officially of BT5 format left. I recommend trying this deck out at your locals. It's very good. It doesn't have a terrible matchup against yellow because you can be so aggressive early that you can actually kind of outpace them if you play it correctly. The only thing I think this deck would struggle with is actually purple, which doesn't have like hardly any representation right now because it's deemed too slow. Like, Little Food just takes too long to set up and stuff like that. And you can just out aggro Little Foop, honestly, because it takes them too long to get their setup going. You can just start swinging early, and just by the time they get their stuff set up, you've already killed them. But I do appreciate you guys stopping by. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're interested in this kind of content and want to come back for more. But until next time, see ya.